My company, the one which is my private company, InView General Educational Consultancy and Support, working to create enabling ecosystem for educational environment, because most of as a nation, most of our gap is on towards to knowledge and skill. So it's working to address practical education for all of students from kindergarten to high school level. In case of Ethiopian Youth Entrepreneurs Association, it's working to enable the young startups, because they have a lot of, at the end of the day, entrepreneurs means they have something on hand. They have a capacity to solve a problem, at the same time they have a solution for that. So I'm focusing and I'm working on both education and entrepreneur ecosystem. We are working with a different ministry, especially on Ministry of Innovation and Technology. Through this network, we are advocating on the inclusiveness and accessibility of technology towards women on their day-to-day activities. The first thing is a skill gap, and the second gap is attitude gap towards using this technology, because if you know the value and you have a positive attitude towards it, you can eager to go through and use this technology. And the third one is most of women are not informed because they have no any opportunity and exposures towards this technological equipment or something like that. And the main things also the infrastructure parts. There is not as such enough infrastructure towards the technology and the digital part, and also there is a limitation of devices next to infrastructure itself. And also there is a policy gap in a sense that our policy is not as such enabled for the society, for the young women. When I mention the policy, that is directly connected with the digital things like the science, technology parts. So that is a challenge. As Ethiopian, not all Ethiopian, as an African, we have one statement that is when you want to go far, you should have to work together, and if you want to go fast, you should have to be alone. So we need to be collaborate, because as the nature of the organization and as the goal of the organization, we define or we divide three partnership or three kinds of organization, like governmental, the policy maker, and the one who work for monitoring and evaluation. The other one is non-governmental part, that is the CSOs, the BMO, like development partners. They are working to create like a bridge by supporting the system to implement the policy too, on working for the advocacy part. And the third part is the potential private sectors. The potential private sectors, that means the one who is working the day-to-day activity by delivering service and products, again they involve on the process of the things that are working on. For example, for achieving the involvement of women in this digital financial inclusion, these three organizations should come into front. The government should support by the policy, by making the things, the environment suitable for running these things, and on the infrastructure part. And also the development partners should come here and advocating the policies by supporting the government towards the women digital finance inclusion, and also supports like through skill, through creating awareness, and through making a different initiative. So in case of the private potential partner should work on accessing the things like the device by developing applications, by creating a lot of important processes, like for example the civic society engagement, like the telecommunication part, these day-to-day activities like the electricity, power, the bank system, like this. So when these processes, when these services must be on board to use on the day-to-day activity, and which is supported by the policy and which is supported by another important pillars, so the things will be come. So I really appreciate, and as a young woman too, it is better to work by collaborating and working on the advocacy hub.